You childless millennials and your avocado toast.
Let's unpack the magic.
Welcome to another episode of the Team Unicorn podcast. My name is Tyler.
I'm Sammy.
And today we are talking all about those low-life, disgusting, wretched individuals known as Disney adults. Ugh. Just, ugh. You feel that? It's just like spine tingle. Ugh, gross.
The cringies.
The cringies. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Disney adults. So we're going to be talking a lot about us from experience.
Pretty much.
And I feel like Disney adults is such like a divisive term.
It is. Because I think a lot of times it's used as an insult, or it's kind of meant to be as an insult, like you Disney adults.
Or even like it's said like derogatory.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, those Disney adults.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, what's wrong with that?
Right?
So that's what we're going to discuss today. What is wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with it? And why is using Disney adults not a good term to use?
Or maybe is it?
Or is it? I don't know. Maybe. So I guess let's kind of jump right into it as to what is a Disney adult. We did go straight to the best online source for information. We went to Urban Dictionary for this. It's a bit of a lengthy definition here. Do you want to read it or you want?
I'll read it.
Okay.
So, according to Urban Dictionary, a millennial adult with or without kids that can't stop talking about Disney, including the movies and the parks. Even if they do have kids, they're still way more obsessed with it than their kids ever would be. They probably engage in casual Disney bounding and visit theme parks at least once a year. They are obsessed with everything Disney and probably have a Mickey Mouse bumper sticker and or tattoo. One of the most terrifyingly intense people you'll ever encounter. That Disney adult over there won't shut up about the theme park trivia.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
We do fit the description of a lot of that.
I was going to say that kind of fits us very well.
We don't have children, which, thank you. And we don't have a Disney bumper sticker or a tattoo. I guess, well, we have a Spotify decal.
Yes, like the thing that you can scan, and then it'll bring up a song. Ours is Happily Ever After.
Of course.
So I don't know if maybe that counts. It's like a secret Disney.
And we don't have
sticker.
any Disney tattoos, I guess, as of yet. But yeah, so everything else pretty much feels spot on. And I don't feel attacked when I read that.
I don't either, but again, I think it's meant as an insult or like you said, like a derogatory kind of meaning behind it. Like,
yeah, so I guess in general, Disney adults, their life, I'd hate to say that it revolves around Disney because I don't think that it necessarily has to. I think that's like the mindset, or that's kind of like when you think about or picture a Disney adult, like everything is Disney. Like there's more to it, but I think that's kind of like what the casual definition is, that your personality revolves all around Disney. Yeah. Whether it be like the movies or the parks or both.
And I mean, obviously for us, like it's a huge part, but there's definitely a lot more to us than just Disney.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think when people are just like, oh yeah, you just eat, breathe, and sleep Disney.
Which, I mean, I guess I want to say that there's some truth to that, but obviously like we do, like a lot of who we are and what we love is Disney related. You know, are these Disney adults people that like specifically like cry every night that they see fireworks, or are they, you know, people that will constantly just keep watching the same movie over and over and over again, or the same movies over and again, and they're only Disney movies? Like, what is I don't really know if there's a broad definition, or I mean, there's a broad definition, but like, what is specifically that Disney adult?
Yeah, and I don't know if you can just kind of pinpoint it to one thing. I think there's many different aspects of being a Disney adult, and I think it means something different to everybody. I think that identifies as a Disney adult.
Mm-hmm. So I was asked a couple days ago. And the question, I guess, it's not a bad question, but it kind of irked
It's
me.
yeah, and it's just so weird. Yeah, so you got asked, how
I
long have you been a Disney adult?
Yeah, how long have I been a Disney adult? And it's such a weird question because like I didn't become an adult and then be like, okay, Disney's my life now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've loved Disney every aspect of my life. Like growing up and watching like the movies,
Mm-hmm.
or like going to like Disney on Ice, or going to the theaters in that respect. And then growing older and then being able to see like stage adaptations of Disney movies, or like watching like Disney Channel original movies, like when those
Yeah.
were like really big on the Disney Channel. And then growing up, and getting into adulthood when we finally started going to the parks and experiencing and appreciating the parks aspect of Disney. So like, I,
Like, how do
it's
you answer
how do you
it?
yeah how do you
Yeah.
answer it? It's not like it's I don't want to say like it's a dumb question, but it's kind of like there's you're not you don't like just flip a switch and become a Disney adult. So you're just a child who happens to like Disney, to an adolescent, to a teenager, to an adult who just happens to like Disney.
Yeah, and so like yeah, I think I fall along the similar lines. Like definitely growing up, we watched Disney movies and we watched them a lot, and they were some of our favorites growing up. And we never really got out of watching Disney movies,
Hmm.
just because they're like everyone can enjoy them, and we've certainly have watched them at like as a couple like together, and Disney music. And I think for us it really took off when we did go to the parks,
Yeah.
just because I think that opened up a whole new door and world of experiencing Disney. So I think we definitely like leveled up in our Disney adult life after going to Disney. So I think going to the parks is probably a big aspect of like being a Disney adult, or like living that like Disney adult like lifestyle, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Hmm. So do you think that there's any, so we obviously went over the description of it. Do you think that there's like any like qualifications that you have to meet to become a Disney adult? Or is it just like you kind of mentioned before, like it kind of varies for everybody?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like qualifications. I think anybody who has any sort of love for Disney, I think can call themselves a Disney adult if they want to. Maybe there's like varying degrees of like
Yeah.
Disney adultness. Maybe that's like a better way to put it. Like I don't know. Like
Right. So like I think that's a good point, because I think like with us, like we are very much into the movie, the music, the musicals, like we're in on the parks 100%. Like we're definitely, I don't want to say like on like an upper level of Disney adultness, but like we definitely do enjoy Disney as an entire whole. Now,
Mhm.
someone like let's say our uncle Jay, who does come with us to Disney, and does enjoy Disney, like I don't think that he would consider himself as like a Disney adult as maybe we do. I don't know what he would think about that, but like I don't know,
Yeah.
like it seems like there's definitely a difference in.
Yeah, but I would still kind of call him a
Yeah,
Disney
yeah, oh
adult.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely he's a Disney adult, but like
yeah.
again, like that's not an insult. Like it's just
Right.
he's an adult that really enjoys Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't okay, so then I guess another aspect of this, like, do you have to have children or do you not have to have children? Or do you think it matters?
I think that when someone is trying to be in, like make it as an insult, like saying like, "Oh, you're a Disney adult," like I think like that almost means you don't have children,
Yeah.
because like it almost seems like, well, you don't have any children and you still like Disney, like really?
Yeah. Because I've heard like, oh yeah, Disney's for kids, and I disagree with that
Oh, yeah,
wholeheartedly. Like
100%.
it's not just for kids.
Like
I
kids
think
can enjoy it,
mhm.
but anyone can enjoy it. Like I just saw a TikTok the other day of um this woman who took her like 80 some year old grandma to Disneyland for the first time. Like they surprised her, like they
Oh,
were out on the Esplanade, and like she had like AirPods in, so she didn't know what was going on, and
yeah.
she was blindfolded, and they were taking her in or whatever. And they had her take her mask and earbuds off, and like she just like broke down and like started crying, and like it took her on Small World, and like they did the whole like 9 yards with her. But like she was like 80 some years old, and this is
Yeah.
the first time she'd been to Disney. Like that meant so much to her. Like, but she had obviously loved Disney her entire life. She just never had made it like to the homeland.
To the homeland. Yeah. Yeah, and so there's just a couple things with that. Like, I think a lot of people think, yeah, Disney's for kids. So at some point, as a child, like when you're growing up watching these movies, you need to like grow out of that. Like you just don't watch the movies, or you don't like enjoy them as much once you become an adult. And I don't know how you do that, because I love the Disney movies so
Mhm.
much. Like, and especially as an adult, I think like you just understand and appreciate them so much more as an adult.
Yeah, and like with that, also the movies grow up with the audience.
Yeah, they've done that.
Like two really good examples that I can think of would be the Toy Story franchise and Frozen.
Yes.
Toy Story, obviously 1 and 2 came out, very like it was like 95 or 96 or something like that, and then a couple years later, and then in 2010, it had been 10, 12 years between 2 and 3. The
Hmm.
that story matured, and those characters grew with the audience,
Yep.
and then waiting another 10 years, 10 so years for Toy Story 4 to come out, like the story kept maturing on, like it kept
Yes.
dealing with a different type of crisis, or a different type of it dealt with different types of emotion. Same thing with Frozen 1. Like it's a great movie, but then those characters grew up. Like
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
like just your mid-teen princess that you're usually used to seeing in these movies. Like they're grown up, they're women, they have like their own issues, like they're dealing with like real world stuff, and like
Exactly.
these movies grow up with you as a viewer and a watcher.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't like it when people say like, "Oh, Disney's just for kids." And Walt himself, when he was building Disneyland, he said like, "This is a park for all ages, people of all
Like
ages."
he wanted a park
Yeah.
that he could take his girls to, that they could enjoy as a family, not just
Yeah.
something that his children could enjoy.
Right.
And so that's always been like a main focus of the Disney, at least the parks division, and I would assume that transferred over pretty smoothly with the animation. Like this is something for everybody to enjoy. So you as an adult can enjoy Disney. Like that was like a singular focus of Walt's.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and it really just comes through like when you're us as I guess adults, like going to the parks, we feel like, or at least yeah, like I feel like I belong there. Like
Mhm.
it's not like I don't feel out of place, and I obviously like love going there.
Like I
And
feel more in place. I feel
yeah.
like more like, I don't want to say accepted, but like I feel like that's a place where like I can like really be who like I think I can be, because it's so magical, and because like it's so welcoming and inviting that anyone
Hmm.
is accepted there.
Yeah, so and I really love that. But yeah, and then I guess another thing with like having kids versus not having kids, I remember there was, I think it was an article like a couple years ago about a mom complaining about like childless millennials going to the parks and taking up space in the parks.
Who
And
cares?
yeah, just like being really angry at those people because she felt like it, like because she had children she deserved um
A top tier experience, or
yeah, like
a better experience than someone without
yeah,
kids.
people without kids were just taking up too much space. They were, waiting in lines when people with kids, should be um, you know, bumped up. Like they shouldn't have to wait, behind these people with no kids and all of that. And I'm like, that is just like the rudest thing to say. Um Yeah, like I couldn't believe that. Like when
Like
that
all I
was
can think
going.
of is like in the back of my head, I'm just thinking like, okay, boomer, like just get off your high horse, get off the soapbox. Like you don't have a pedestal for this. Like you don't
Yeah.
have like any grounds on this. Like if the parks specifically have always been for everyone to enjoy, it doesn't matter if you're going there by yourself, if you're 20 or 50 or 80, if you have kids, if you have grandchildren, if you have like adopted kids, it doesn't matter. Like that you can go and you're good. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't there shouldn't be a tiered system of who should be able to enjoy the Disney parks more, or just Disney in general, based on whether or
Right.
not you have children.
Right. Yeah, that just it really irks me. So
Ugh,
I'm
that's
just
such a
like
cringe statement.
yeah, like I don't know, cuz like you said before, like going to the parks, like I know this sounds so cliche, but like I feel like I'm home. I've never been one to like with the way that I dress, I feel like I'd never want to like stick out or make people like point or think that I'm weird for what I'm wearing. So I feel like for the longest time I was pretty safe with that aspect of myself. And like after going to Disney for the first time and just seeing like how like creative and I don't know, just like things that people come up with for like outfits and what they wear to the park. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And then I got into like Loungefly backpacks, and I remember being like super self-conscious like the first time like wearing it out in
Yeah, I
public
remember that too.
because I'm like, people are gonna think I'm weird, right? Like like I'm an adult wearing this like very colorful backpack that's gonna stick out. But I think after going to Disney, I'm just like, you know what? I don't really care. Like this is what I love, and I feel, like comfortable wearing it like in Disney. So then I feel like I should be able to wear it anywhere. So
Yeah. And looking back at like our first trip back in 2020 before the pandemic hit, like a lot of the stuff that we wore was pretty tame.
yeah.
And it's not like, oh, like they're wearing like weird stuff or anything. Like a lot of our shirts were just like kind of like the Etsy black vinyl pressed,
Yep.
designs on there. Or there wasn't really a whole lot of like, I don't want to say risk, but there wasn't a lot of like, they were a lot of like more generic style type of shirts.
Yeah, and they weren't as colorful. Like you said, it was a lot
Right.
of black shirts with like I guess colorful prints maybe on them,
Hmm.
but yeah, nothing like the shirt itself I feel was like super colorful.
Right. So then like I look at to our last couple of trips, like when we went last year, this past time in Disneyland, like I like my wardrobe has completely changed. Like
Mhm.
I'm wearing like a lot of like brights colors, like purples and pinks and blues and yellows, like, and I'm wearing like the Spirit jerseys, and
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the way that I look in pictures, because obviously like I'm a bigger guy, and like I have a lot of like body image like concerns, like kind of like I don't know, like the self like I just it's hard for me
You're
to
very
like,
like self-conscious,
yeah, self-conscious.
self-aware, and yeah.
And I think like before we started going to Disney, like a lot of my wardrobe was like really dark, like, blues and purples or blacks or whatever, or grays.
Yeah.
Like I stuck, very, safe and tame. And that obviously translated into our first Disney trip. But like now, after going to Disney a couple times and like realizing like it doesn't matter, like just, you can express yourself with these clothes.
Yeah.
So like now when we go to these trips, like I'm trying to find like something like nice or flashy, or like, nice bright colors, to like really like, feed off of how Disney makes me feel as a Disney adult.
Yeah.
So, and I really like that. And it's just like I said before, it's so weird like to look back at like our pictures from our first trip,
Yep.
because like a lot of the shirts I wore were black or dark color. I think I only had like one like brighter color shirt, and it was just a red shirt. But like now, like I'm wearing like tie dyes, and like I'm like I have like glittery like Spirit
Yep.
jerseys, and I'm constantly looking to find like that really cool like color combination for like another trip. So like Disney has really brought out a different side of both of us when it comes to like feeling comfortable in our own bodies and like what we wear, because like
Yes.
it's okay to do that. And like I feel like that's something that maybe people don't really think about too much when they're like trying to like insult someone by saying a Disney adult. Like Disney, like at least for me, has really like helped me with my like self-consciousness and like my body image concerns, or my body image, like the way I look at myself, because like I can, like I feel more comfortable wearing like bright and colorful things now.
Yeah. Oh, see, and I love that. And that's like the same for me. Like, like I said, I was always just very like self-conscious of like, yeah, of like, I guess like sticking out and,
And now like when we go to Disney, I almost want to stick out.
yeah, like it's almost a good thing. And, yeah, so yeah, for me in that aspect, like I love that, that Disney has, I guess, brought that out in me and you, and I think that just makes us better people. So
Yeah,
I like that.
me too. So I guess to get back into like what being a Disney adult is, like, do you think like you have to go to the parks? Like, is it exclusive? Is it an exclusive like just for like park goers, or like is it just anybody who likes Disney, or is parks like something like is kind of like a mandatory part of it?
I like, okay, so personally, I think you can be a Disney adult without going to the parks. I think going to the parks levels it up, like I said earlier, because I've always had that love for Disney, watching the movies, characters and songs, and like Broadway shows. Like I've always enjoyed that, and but like going to the parks, it was just on a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think you have to go to the parks to be considered a Disney adult. But I think once you do, like it's just like a whole different ball game. I
Right.
feel like I remember coming back from that first trip, and I know like that first trip, like we weren't really sure if we were gonna like be able to go back again, or at least anytime soon. But when we got back, we were just like, okay, like when are we going again?
Like we had that
Like
post-trip depression real bad.
real bad. Like because like we talked about earlier, like it just opens up a whole new world of how you enjoy Disney. And then there's just so many aspects, like, like with the clothes and the accessories, and I don't know, just being there and experiencing like the park how like Walt had envisioned, and it just hits on all different levels. And so yeah, coming back and just really wanting to like book that next trip, and then just like, yeah, like the outfit ideas, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like just the like ideas and thoughts that I had for like stuff that I wanted to get for like our next trip, just really got me so excited. And I think it just, the level that we are at right now as far as like Disney adults, like just really took off from there. So yeah, I think it's just another level, like just leveling up, I guess. Like
Yeah. And like I don't want to like pit like people who like Disney against one another. And I do agree with you that I think that like you have a better appreciation for, I guess, Disney, or like your the love for Disney or being a Disney adult grows fonder because of going to the parks. And I don't think that we would have, accumulated as much stuff as we have right now, or have gotten like, or gotten to the point where like we even thought like doing this podcast would be a thing,
right.
without having that love for Disney, because there's so many different aspects to Disney that really you know drew us in, and the parks was probably the biggest thing for us that really like you said, kind of sent us over and been like kind of put us into that new territory of being a Disney adult. And I think what you kind of mentioned before with the coming back and just wanting to plan your next trip and see, really want to go back. It doesn't help when we watch all of like the different like vloggers online, or like you read the different articles, or you follow the different social media sites. Like it's so hard not to like have that like that FOMO and want to be like back in Disney.
For sure. Yeah, like because I think the two vlogs that we started watching before our first trip, we definitely watched Disney Food Blog.
Yes.
That was probably like our main one, and then we watched All Ears, specifically like just like Molly's, and I think it was mostly Molly at the time, like so we watched a lot of her videos.
And those really did help, like especially if like you're like a first timer, like,
Yeah.
or if you're, you know, on maybe like your second trip and you're just trying to figure out like what's new in Disney. Like those two are probably like some of the best ones to go to, just because Disney Food Blog is constantly reviewing food, but they have weekly updates of what's going on just in general in the park. And with All Ears, like they're always kind of there for that first initial opening of something or first day of something, or they have the news and they're reporting it in a vlog form and on their website pretty quickly. So I think out of all the other like blog sites and YouTube, like those are probably like two of like the ones that we would recommend the most. I mean, they are the biggest ones, I feel, but they definitely, you know, do encapsulate a lot of what's you need to know in Disney.
Yeah. Sadly, Molly is leaving
Yeah.
All Ears, and I am really bummed out about that because she's like the main reason that we watched All Ears. And I know they've put out a few videos like that don't have her in it that she normally like, you know, would do. And
it's nothing against the other you know, the other members of All Ears. It's just Molly, you know, really makes those videos. And
yes.
I think that maybe that's another qualification to be a Disney adult, is that you have to watch these YouTube videos, you have to watch these vlogs, you know, you're constantly
need to be
watching
a
those.
Subscriber like 3 out of 5 of these or something. I don't know. Like but yeah, Molly's leaving. She who she's married to Alan from All Ears, which we just found that out, and that was like mind blowing.
And I love it how they're just like, yeah, like we've been married, like it's not a big deal,
right? But they have something in the works. Like they're going to be starting their own project. I'm assuming it's Disney related. But they haven't really released any details yet. They said stuff is coming soon, so I am very excited. Whatever she's gonna do, I will follow Molly anywhere.
Yeah, so we watch those two quite a bit.
Yes.
Now it's more All Ears than Disney Food Blog.
Yeah.
So primarily them, but like we do watch a lot of like the daily vloggers, or like the weekly vloggers that go out there. Like Kyle Paulo is probably like the biggest one that we watch full time. We follow him kind of constantly.
Pretty much, yeah. He's from Milwaukee, so we have like that Wisconsin connection,
like some
with
hometown pride for him.
Yeah. So yeah, and we actually got to meet him and his family in our November trip.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
His family's so nice. Yeah. It's just the sweetest family. We actually, as excited as we were to like talk to Kyle and get like his picture, you know, get a picture with him. Like I know like you and I, like we talked to his mom and dad a lot.
Yes,
like,
yeah. Well, because we were just it was in Epcot. We had just watched Harmonious, and so we were making our way to the Skyliner, and they were going the same way. So yeah, we actually got to talk to his mom and dad along the way as we're walking, and they are just the sweetest people, and I'm just very happy we got to meet them and chit chat with them. So hopefully we get to run into them again. I don't know, on another trip.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. We've ran into Super Enthuse.
Yep, Jackie
from Super Enthuse, and we got to run into and get our picture taken with Paging Mr. Morrow. We got to see them on our November trip. They were there on opening day of the Jingle Cruise, which was your birthday in Magic Kingdom. So that was pretty cool to get to interact with them.
Yeah,
we've met Molly and Quincy from All Ears.
Yeah, that was on our
May trip last year.
Yeah, that was our second trip.
And then we've also met adults in Disney.
Oh yeah, Sarah and Jeff.
Yeah, Sarah and Jeff. We got to see them, so that's pretty cool to get to meet those people that we see on the screen all the time.
Yeah, that's really fun. But yeah, Sarah and Jeff from Adults in Disney. They don't really vlog much unless they're actually in the parks, because I don't think they're from like Florida at all. Like I think they're from New York.
I believe so. So they only do like maybe like once a month uploads depending on where their adventures kind of take them, but they're very super sweet and nice, and it's very nice to like see these, I don't want to say like celebrities, but like see these vloggers that you kind of follow online, and then like they are very nice and sweet to you, and they definitely do want to interact. So that's been really, really nice. And I think that maybe that's another qualification to be a Disney adult is like you have to get excited to meet your favorite vlogger.
I was just gonna say they might as well be celebrities to us, because like I remember when we spotted Molly and Quincy,
like we hunted them down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like that was just like, that was amazing, like to meet them. But yeah, then I guess we've met quite a few of them, and yeah, like they've always been super nice, and like I don't know, I love meeting them in the parks. So that's like something that I look forward to like on our trips is like, oh, who are we gonna see like on this trip? So
yeah, I still have my hopes set out to meet Lex and Cody from the Lost Bros.
Gosh, that would be a dream.
That's like even higher than like Kyle or Tim Tracker or even Molly. Like those two, like I need to meet those two.
Lex and Cody, so they're next to check off on the list.
But yeah, so like watching these people or watching these vloggers and just seeing like them, especially like Kyle, because he does like everyday vlogging, or Tim Tracker, who does every other couple days.
Yeah, he does like daily vlogging. It's just not always Disney content, or like he's not always at like the Disney parks, but I do enjoy his videos.
Yeah, and it's nice to like get a little bit of each of them. And we were just talking about this last night. We were actually watching a Tim Tracker video last night, and Epcot's Food and Wine is going on right now, and we have a list that we've compiled of like, we're starting a list of stuff that we want to eat when we're down there, and we kind of just want to know like what people have tried and what they recommended on. So like all ears and Disney Food Blog kind of cover like the same thing, but then if you like watch Kyle's videos, you watch Tim Tracker's videos, or you watch Jackie's videos, like you get to see them trying a little bit of some different things. So that's really nice to like for us, with us being up in Wisconsin and not getting to experience this festival until November, we get to see all these different reactions to all the different food items that we want to try when we're down there. So that's, as much as like it's fun to watch them, it's also very insightful and informative.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the downfalls of like, I guess, following so many Disney vloggers.
It gets repetitive.
It gets very repetitive. Like I know like when like Space 220 opened, like that is like all like my YouTube videos were like just everyone there like covering it.
Anything big. Like like when the Jingle Cruise came out, like everyone was doing that, or like the first day of Flower and Garden or Food and Wine, like everyone is there, which I get, like that's like their shtick, but like I
get it too. But I guess for me, like I like when they're like when they go back, like I don't know, just like every couple weeks and like, oh, I'm trying this today, or just something like different. Because I feel like, especially when we watched Disney Food Blog this time around, it was just very much like the same kind of stuff, and like they didn't really cover like anything really different, like food wise, it seemed like. I don't know. So so I like it when like these vloggers go and try different things, especially if they're things on our list, because I'm like, oh well, what do they think of this? So I don't think like as a vlogger, like being there on the first day, like I don't know, for me personally, like doesn't really do much. I'm just like, okay, but like what about like a week or two after,
like or like expand on it, kind of do like see the lay of the land of like what everyone else is saying, and then just kind of like deviate off that path. Like, and that's where we come in and we're like, we really appreciate those. So like Tim Tracker has been doing that for us recently.
Yes.
And that's been really, really cool. Yeah. And it's not just YouTube and vloggers. Like we also follow a lot of Disney content on social media, and I think that's another big thing is like you're kind of surrounded with that social media presence.
That's pretty much all my Instagram is. It's pretty much just like Disney like either like vloggers or like
small shops.
Thank you. Yeah. So but yeah, there's a couple that I really like. She's smaller compared to all the people that we're talking on this list, but her name is Ashley Wright. She goes by Pixie Dusted Mom. And I love her content. Like she lives in Tennessee, and so she's kind of like in the same boat as us, where she's not close to the parks. And so they make a couple trips maybe in the year, and she puts out like her own vlogs, and so I do enjoy that. And then she just tries to sprinkle in like Disney magic in her everyday life. So
which I feel like that's another big thing to like be like
yes,
that a Disney adult would do.
For sure.
Like we do that all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously. Look around us here if you're
Right.
watching the YouTube. Like, we do that every single day. Like we try to add some sort of like pixie dust, or at least try to add a little bit of like Disney magic to whatever we're doing.
Yeah. Yep. So I really like her for that, because I definitely relate to her, like not, being close to Disney. And yeah, just trying to, I guess, fill that void until our next trip, which I guess that's part of being a Disney adult.
Unless you live down there, like it's a very rough couple months in between.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate this past year to go quite a bit in 1 year, and now we're definitely hitting that slowdown button. At least it seems like right now. So we'll see what the future holds for us, and what it has in store. But
well, right now we are 100 days out.
Yes.
From our trip. We're kind of getting that excitement going, because we got some outfit planning going on. We're going to the first Christmas party, so we've been talking about what we're gonna wear for that. I'm thinking I have my outfit. I haven't bought anything for it yet. But we'll see. Like I think
Disney adults,
I know,
just planning out your wardrobe 100 days in advance for a trip that you've paid thousands of dollars for. I mean, and that's another thing to kind of like think about when you like kind of are jumping in full head into being a Disney adult, is like it's also very pricey.
It is.
Even if you don't go to the parks, it's very pricey.
Even if you don't go to the parks, because like I said, I follow a lot of like small shops, like with their shirts. Shelby over at Pixie Lee & Co. has got me wrapped around her finger, because I don't know how many Pixie Lee & Co. shirts I have. But yeah, like I don't know, and that's pretty much all I wear now is like Disney shirts.
As you're wearing your Pixie Lee & Co. shirt right now,
living my happily ever after. It's actually our anniversary today that we're recording this, so it's very fitting.
And I just like, it's especially like if you have your Pixie Lee, I've got my Lost Bro shirts. Like I feel like every time I get a Lost Bro shirt in the mail, I'm just like Thanos, like collecting another Infinity Stone. Like I'm just like, I think I'm up to like 6 or 7 different
there's quite
shirts
a few
right now. So,
and I actually have a good amount of Lost Bro shirts too. They put out a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of cost involved. I think, especially if you're wanting to go to the parks, even at least once a year, like that trip can be very expensive. So I don't know, like if that like prices people out, or like,
and I think that's kind of like an argument for maybe another episode
too,
but like it does seem like in some respects that Disney, I don't want to say is purposely pricing people out, but like it's very expensive. Like I think a major drive for us to go with our uncle is just because it's a little bit cost efficient, because you're splitting a hotel room between 3 people as opposed to 2 people. That's obviously not the only reason that we ask him to come along. No. He loves it.
Yeah,
he loves going just as much as him, and we love having him there.
Yes, we love going together, but I think definitely like going as a group can definitely help with that. So
but yeah, there's no way around it. Disney is just expensive, whether you go to the parks or not. So that is something, as a Disney adults, you go to work to make the money to spend the money on all your Disney paraphernalia or your Disney needs.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
It's kind of a vicious circle
cycle
of having to work to pay off the next trip, or having to work to pay off the next Loungefly bag, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And that's just, I guess, comes with the territory.
Yeah, and I think that just I don't know, I guess just adds to our Disney adult life, because I think like, so when you get that trip booked, which usually for us is probably like, I don't know, 8 months to a year out.
It's usually well in advance, unless we're planning spur of the moment trips like we did for our November one. Yeah,
which probably isn't too typical of us, but yeah, so I think like you're going to work, and then you're following like these vloggers and small shops or whoever on Instagram, and you're kind of just filling that Disney void, with your collectibles until you can go. And
then you go and you buy more
Yeah.
merchandise and you buy more collectibles and you come back.
Yeah.
You feel depressed. You watch all the Instagrammers and all the influencers, and then you book another trip. It just keeps going around and around in a circle, and I'm fine with it. 100% fine with it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's whether or not you want to do that, can afford to do that, and are, okay to be part of that cycle.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's just for us, like, Disney is just like a priority for us, but then we also make sure that we're smart about it, like we're not going into debt like with our trips or our merchandise or whatever we're collecting or doing, so we're smart about it, but it obviously means a lot to us, so yeah, I guess I would say like it's a priority for us, but we make it work. And
so with making it a priority, obviously Disney is a huge priority for us, and we enjoy it. Do you think that there are other fandoms that have that level of intensity, or like, do they have like a Disney adult? Like maybe like our Potterheads on the same level?
Yeah, Potterheads, I don't know if they're on the same level, because I don't know. And I don't know if because like I don't really follow a lot of like just like Universal Studios like vloggers or content or whatever, so I don't know like how many people are like going in there every day like for like the Harry Potter like worlds as like people are for like Disney.
And I do know that there's like it almost seems like it's very like clicky, where like there's people that are like Universal and Harry Potter fans, or I shouldn't say just Harry Potter, but Universal fans and like Disney fans, and like those circles don't overlap too much, which I mean it's unfortunate, because like people can enjoy both or whatever, but it definitely seems like it's very clicky on that, and I think especially with the Harry Potter, like they have a very immersive world, just like Disney has creative immersive worlds, and are those people who enjoy the Wizarding World on the same level of those who enjoy Disney, or even like with Marvel fans or Star Wars fans?
Yeah, I don't know. I would think maybe Star Wars fans maybe more on the same level, maybe kind of like as Disney adults. But I don't know, like my thing with like Star Wars fans is like I think it's a little bit more toxic.
Yeah. I mean, every fandom has like the toxic level to it, or like there's some sort of like negativity to it. But
I feel like it just I think with Star Wars fans, like it really just like comes out more often than it should.
And we are very much Star Wars fans. I guess I would consider myself more of a Star Wars fan than you, just because I've been part of that fandom a little bit longer than you have. I should say a lot longer than you have. And that's not to say that there's not like negativity or some toxicness to the Disney community either. Right. Like obviously, like people are throwing around Disney adults as like an insult, so like there's obviously like some sort of like bad juju there or whatever. But it's just weird to like kind of step back from like the whole like Disney adult and like the Disney experience and be like, are there Marvel fans that are like this? Which I am a huge Marvel fan. I have the same level and passion for Disney as I do Marvel. Probably in a lot of cases, Marvel even more. Star Wars not so much, but in like a Harry Potter, I'm not like a big fan of. Like I know the movies and I've read some of the books. It's not like a huge fandom to me,
right?
But I know that there are people that are really big into those fandoms. So I'm just kind of like, are we tiering or ranking them? Like, is one like more like passionate than the other? Like, does it really? Are they all on the same level?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they probably could be. I just think it probably just depends on each person individually, like where they probably fall within the fandoms themselves. Yeah, I guess for me, like Disney's probably number one. I would probably say Marvel's probably like under that, which I think is maybe a little surprising to say, because I feel like without you, um I don't think that would be possible. Like you've really like not that you've forced me or like made me feel like I need to like watch Marvel or like get into the movies. It's just something that we've just done together, and I know like it really means a lot to you. So then I think that kind of just translates into me like it means a lot to me, and I thoroughly enjoy these movies, and a few of these characters I really connect with. So yeah, I guess for me, I probably would put Marvel right under there, and then probably Harry Potter, and then Star Wars personally.
Yeah.
But then that's not to say that they all can't be on the same level. Like I think they all have like, they're super fans, and they're casual fans, and then those kind of toxic fans. I guess like for me, I more see that come out in Star Wars, just like some of the news stories over the past like couple years, and that really makes me upset, especially with Kelly Marie Tran, like that whole thing. Like but
and it's something that's not new. It's unfortunate because no matter what fandom that you're in, as long as you're passionate about it, like don't belittle other people for it. And I think that kind of goes back to, like, to the root cause of, like, talking about today's episode with, is being a Disney adult a bad thing, or is it an insult, or like, should you feel bad for being a Disney? It's like, it's not anything that you should feel like belittled for or ashamed for.
Exactly. So I guess like for me, I think I've really found myself with being and identifying as a Disney adult, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, like you said, for like any fandom, like whatever your like whatever your love for, or the love that you have for something, like as long as like it makes you happy, like it doesn't really matter, like like it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, like so I think just go and love what you love, and just spread the love, like just don't spread the hate. Like as far as like being a Disney adult, I don't really take it as an insult. I pretty much embrace like the Disney adult life. I know some people may want to like throw it as an insult to me, but
I don't see it as an insult.
No, I don't either. Like we've talked earlier, like I think it's really helped both of us like just kind of come out of a shell, and I think really just make us more comfortable with who we are. And it's I don't know, like I think we've always had like a good connection, but I feel like this has like brought like us like even closer together. Like we really enjoy going to the parks together, like we enjoy planning going to the parks, and just everything that comes with this Disney adult lifestyle, I think really fits us. And
kind of what you mentioned, like if it makes you happy, that's all that matters,
right?
I remember another influencer that we follow is Magic with Meg. And she is a very huge Star Wars fan, which we've already mentioned that fan base has been known to be pretty toxic in the past, especially to like characters of color or female characters. And so I can't obviously speak for her, but like it's probably got to be a little disheartening being a female creator in a fandom that has in the past kind of been a dick to females,
right?
For lack of a better term. So like she had posted a message a little while back, like if it makes you happy, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you find joy, and if you find something that you can feel passionate about, and it makes you happy, like it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And I think that's just a good reminder for any fandom that you're in, especially us being Disney adults or being like a huge fan of Disney in that fandom. Like it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if someone calls you a Disney adult. It doesn't matter if someone is trying to insult you by being like, oh, you guys go to Disney without any kids, you childless millennials, like blah blah blah. Like it doesn't matter. Like as long as you find happiness in it, that's all that you need to focus on.
Exactly. Yep. So we're just going to keep living that Disney adult life. I'm going to put on my launch flight every day. I'm going to go out there very proud of myself because I don't know if Sammy, like, 10 years ago, or especially in, like, high school, like, never would have done that. So
Yeah, and it's so weird because, like, even, like, Disney in general, like, I feel like, I guess at home, like, I feel like we're very much, like, introverted a lot of the time. Like, we don't really like to go out where the people are.
Yeah, right.
And that's
Too
it's
people-y out there today. We say that all the
it's
time.
very much like a 180 from, like, when I was in high school. Like, I feel like I was a very much, like, a huge extrovert in high school, leaving high school and going into college, and, like, you know, from there, like, I very much became an introvert. But then Disney has really changed that around.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you go there and, like, I'm out talking with complete strangers about Disney, and, like, we're having fun conversations in the park, and we're wanting to, like, go out and be bold and be colorful and, want to stand out there. It's very much like another 180. And I think that's just because, like, we feel so much comfort in this fandom. We feel so much, we have so much passion for it. Like, it just really makes us feel, like, our true selves when we're in Disney or when we talk about Disney. And that's just, it makes me happy. It makes you happy. So, like, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that just got me thinking, like, another maybe point to this whole, like, Disney adult thing is, like, and I know it's a meme that's come up, like, like, when you tell your friends you're going to Disney again, like what is the draw about going to Disney all the time? And I think it's that, like, for us, it's a safe space. Like, it's just, like, when you go there, like, however you're dressed or whatever you're feeling, like, you're not going to get, like, made fun of, or you're not going to get, like, pointed out, like, oh my gosh, that person's so weird. Like, somebody's going to come up to you and just be like, oh my gosh, I love your outfit, or, like, I love your bag or your ears.
Like, that happens to you,
like,
all the time.
Yeah, like, like, or where did you get them? And it's like, oh, I followed this shop. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, I never heard it. It just sparks, like, all that conversation. And so I think, like, going to Disney, like, yeah, it's just, like, that safe space that we can just, like, be ourselves. And I just, and I love that. So, like, I don't think there's going to come a time where, like, I'm just like, no, I'm not really feeling a Disney trip this time. Or like I always want to go back there because that's, I think, where, like, we just feel
most at home.
Yeah,
for
sure.
But we also want to hear what you guys have to say on this. Like, do you guys think that being a Disney adult is a bad thing? Do you find your safe space, in Disney or with Disney, or is there a different fandom? I know a lot of our podcasting friends, have that passion for, like, Marvel or Star Wars and
Harry Potter.
So, as long as you have something that you're passionate about and it makes you happy and it brings you happiness and joy, like, that's all that matters. And we're excited for you if you have that, because we have that in Disney. I would say the point that we've started this podcast, we can talk more about Disney because we absolutely enjoy it so much. And these episodes are just a fun way to sit down and express ourselves and talk about something that we, like, truly have an immense love for.
And it's, I don't want to sound, like, overly dramatic by any means, but I think embracing this Disney lifestyle, this being a Disney adult or whatever you want to say, has just really been good for us. I feel, I know, like we said, it can be expensive. It can be, pricey or whatever it is, but it's important to us. So we make the time for it. And at the end of the day, I'm happy that we are where we are. And so, and then just the quote, like, I know we've been saying it a lot, but, like, if it makes you happy, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, no matter what fandom, what you love, it doesn't matter. Just embrace it.
Yeah. But I do smell that our avocado toast is done upstairs, so we do need to wrap this podcast up. So make sure to follow us on all the socials, like everything, the usual. We got some avocado toast and some very expensive Starbucks coffee to drink upstairs. So for this episode of the Team Unicorn Podcast, I am Tyler.
I'm Sammy.
And it's been magical.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Team Unicorn podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, and review wherever you are listening, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with all things Team Unicorn. And remember, stay magical.